I'm going to revisit one of my past projects, and in the process I discover some color matching vinyl. Later I do a refresh on my steering wheel and give it a new look. On the last episode, I ended it with talking about how on this episode, I'd be going down to the Porsche Experience Center down in Carson with the guys. But I decided to do a small project on my 911 before I make the trip down to the dealership. The MOMO steering wheel in my car is a big part of it because my parents bought it for me more than 20 years ago. And on previous episodes, I mentioned that I've used that steering wheel on a number of my cars in the past. So giving it a little refresh definitely changes the driving experience. The wing on my 911 not only has a big impact as far as aerodynamics, but it also influences the overall appearance of the car. Although I'm happy with the way it looks right now, I refreshed the end plates with something I made a few months back, but after seeing different angles of it and seeing videos of it on the road, something about the shape wasn't too eye-pleasing for me. So I wanted to circle back and revisit this part of my car and revamp it. I actually started working on the end plates, so the version that you're about to see is about 85% done. I'm just waiting on a few materials to come in, and then I'll complete the job and then showcase the finished results. So this is the original end plate that came with the wing, and it's in carbon fiber. However, if you notice, it's very small relative to the size of the actual wing. The particular shape wasn't something that really complemented my car, so I want to make some changes so that it fit the overall shape of my car and still maintain functionality. Then I came up with this design. I purchased a couple plates of ABS plastic. It's about a 1/4 inch thick and it's very sturdy, so I wanted to use this to customize my end plates for my wing. And I wanted to kind of go away from the original shape where it looks like a wing of a bird. And I decided to go with a design with 5 edges. Initially, when I had this on my car, I thought it would look good, but as I saw my car in different angles, some of the videos my friends took and some of the pictures that I took, there were some angles that weren't too eye-pleasing for me. That's what made me decide to revisit this project and try to find a shape that will match the overall look of my 911. With that said, I went with this design. So right now the finish is matte because I sanded it down because I'm going to prep it for wrapping it in vinyl to color match my car. It's about 85% done, and I think after mocking this up on my car and looking at it in different angles, this is going to be the best fit for my 911. Before I finalized my design on my end plates, I spent a little time online looking at other cars that had a similar shape. Overall, I think that the trapezoid design is the most fitting for my car, and I added little details to it to finalize the look. Now that you've seen the final design for my end plate, I'm going to turn the camera around so I can talk about the different parts of a wing. Most GT wings have the same components. There is the base down here, the uprights and bracket, and then the wing deck, and last but not least, the end plates, or what others refer as winglets. When considering a place to install the base, you want to make sure that whatever it's being bolted down to is very sturdy and rigid, because in the end, this is where the main support for the wing is going to be, kind of like roots on a tree. The next part is the uprights and bracket. This is what connects the base with the wing. This is usually made out of stainless steel. I've seen some that are aluminum as well as carbon fiber, but for the most part, the uprights are something that is very sturdy and doesn't have flex, because that's what's going to support the wing between the base and the deck. And then underneath is the brackets that allows the ability to adjust the different degrees of the wing. And then you have the deck, which goes from one end to the other. This particular wing that I have, I wanted to make it as flat as possible, because if you notice in the end, it curls up a little bit and acts like a gurney flap. So that provides some added downforce. So I didn't tilt the wing forward as much, because I wanted to utilize the built-in gurney flap on the wing. Next is the end plates, which is right here. You got one on each side. And for the most part, all of them have the trapezoid shape, 4 corners. And this is the most common shape that are on most GT wings. Every component on the wing is functional. The base is going to provide the strength, or the root of the wing. Then the supports, or the uprights, is going to support the overall components. Then we have the deck. The deck is going to provide the downforce for the car. And then the end plates, this is going to reduce drag. I'm going to bring my camera this way so I can talk about some of the different nuances I have from this end plate compared to the previous one. The edges are all round, but on this one, if you notice, I trimmed down here, so it has a little bit of a slant. Same thing with this area here, I did trim also so it can have a slant, but overall it has a shape that's very similar to a rectangle. On this edge right here, I did actually taper it a little bit in, if you can see that, just to add a little bit of detail to the end plates. But overall, I think that this particular shape is going to complement my car better than the previous versions. The items that I ordered just got delivered. Here's the package that came in. I'm gonna open it up, show you what I got. So here is the vinyl. I haven't matched it yet with my car, but I'm hoping this will be a direct match. So I'm going to wrap the end plates with this film here. And then this one right here, this is what I was talking about on the previous episode as far as my M5 and the project that I have with the LCI taillights. These are some of the materials I'm going to need for that project. So we'll talk about this on another episode. I have the vinyl taken out from the packaging, and this is supposed to be a color match to the original color of my 911. So hopefully when I install it, you can see that it's a pretty close match there, that it will blend in with the rest of the car. Not too sure if the camera will catch this, but there's actually some metallic in the vinyl. So I'm pretty interested to see the final results. I have everything all set up now. I took out the end plates, so they're laying on the table underneath the foam padding. Got my vinyl, and then the tools I'm going to use. I'm going to use my squeegee here, the blade, and I'm going to use the glove so that I can smoothen out the vinyl when I apply it. So here is the finished product. If I angle the light, you could actually see it matches pretty well with the original midnight blue for my 911. So I'm going to install this on my wing, and then I'll share with you some pictures and also add some video. The end plate is reinstalled back on the wing. Overall, I am really pleased with the results. I also added some vinyl towards the edges here so it could give it a nice clean finish. So I wrap both the front side as well as the back side. And it matches pretty well with my car. Everything is all set. I'm going to do the reveal of my wing with the new end plates and bring my car out so you can see the overall look with the car and different angles. I'm gonna head out right now to get some gas for my car. And on the way there, I'm gonna keep an eye out for any places where I can take some pictures of my car. I wanna show some angles with the new end plates. So I'm gonna head out right now. Here's the first drive with the new look on my steering wheel. I just find a spot real close to the gas station next to me. So this area is pretty open, so I'll get some good shots of my car. I spent a good amount of time taking some shots of my car as well as some pictures. So let me roll the montage. On the next episode, I'll be going to the Porsche Experience Center with my friends. We're going to do a pre-meet at a shop that specializes in dress-up bolts. And so in addition to what I just did to my GT wing, I'm also going to replace the bolts that I have on it with some custom screws and washers, so it'll get a round of refresh. That's gonna do it for this episode. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you on the next one.